My beta blocker did not work. So I'm going to try and do it the way the flight attendant gave the instructions flying out here, which was just in 32 seconds, the entire history of flight. I'm so very grateful to be here receiving this somewhat moving and not so frivolous award in a very glittery business. I'm grateful to Hollywood Health and Society and the Norman Lear Center for noticing an odd show that's about the end of a way of life, a writer squandering everything, or more to the point, about how one lives, leading to how one dies. I do, even though I work in the theater, I love television. I love its potential and its flaws and its opportunities for creating awareness of the world around us and how we conduct ourselves in it. And I love how at its best it interrogates the things that matter in its time. And I love that its patron saints are people like Norman Lear. And I love that it has more and more become a place for playwrights to tell the kinds of stories that used to be saved for little stages off 42nd Street or around the country. Capote and the Swans is a story that doesn't dwell on the glamour of Capote's life, despite that scene of name dropping, but on how he and perhaps society itself squanders so much of what makes the time we have unique. At its heart, it's a meditation on legacy. The end of an era, yes, but also on how the choices we make, the people we hurt or cherish, and the way we face our own decline shapes how we are remembered. Truman's life was an intense mixture of brilliance and self-immolation, and I wanted to explore not only his downfall, but what it says about the culture that both elevated and abandoned him. I hope stories like these tonight help us understand the societal consequences of how we live, reminding us to reflect on our own impact and the inevitable end we all face. It's a reminder to be mindful of the way our actions, both personal and collective, ripple out into the world. But I don't want to spend too much time up here. I'm losing my voice. While I was writing Capote and the Swans, my wonderful singular mother was dying. And it followed a familiar course. I've spent some time around this thing of dying, first with a dear friend, and then with my father, and then finally my mom. And I tried to bring the inevitable ritual of it into the apex of the show, that we all face this, that what came before matters greatly, that how we love and who's there for us matters the most, that it's up to us to try and live kindly and bravely and decently and with care and with gratitude, and I could go on. But probably everyone in this room has held someone's hands in their last days. It all comes to an end, and you have a final experience of this gorgeous, complicated world, hopefully without too much pain, and then something else happens, and we're left in the wake of that. But you still get to talk to the people who are gone. I talked to Sybil Bates about books, the election, the best latke recipes, funny names of makeup, all the time still. She had great names for makeup. She had one called TV Touch, which you could only buy on Fairfax. And it was like sort of a miracle elixir for Jewish ladies of a certain generation. One nice thing about the dead is that it's hard to stay mad at them, I've noticed. And in the case of Truman Capote, the sentences he wrote and the explorations he charted have to some extent mitigated his reactive, toxic, trauma-filled behavior. But I tried to write a warning: care, make terrible mistakes, try and rectify them if you can, and always never take the world and the people in it for granted. I would be terribly remiss not to thank Ryan Murphy for being the handmaiden to this project, and John Landgraf and FX Hulu for being its godfather. Thank you so much.